What is up, everybody? This is Captain Inn-Zhano Esquire. Today, we're going to do another episode of the Inn-Zhane Fastlane podcast. Hooray! Today, we've got a very special guest on today. We're going to have TF2 YouTuber BonOakley on. We're going to be talking about how he first got into TF2, what attracted him to becoming a Pyro Main, the concepts that go into his videos, defending the FemPyro, talking about mascots, and generally other things TF2 related. So, I'm quite excited to have him on. So just remember, guys, the name is BonOakley. Don't forget to go and check out his channel, which will be in the description and will be in the credits. I hope you guys will enjoy this episode. Right, so here we are, guys, and I'm here with BonOakley.
Hey there.
Alright, so how you doing, man, today?
I'm pretty good. Got up a couple of hours ago. I'm pretty tired.
Same here. My throat's been fucked since I got up this morning.
Oh, damn.
I was thinking, please don't lose my voice before we start.
Yeah, that would definitely suck for a podcast.
I had to guzzle about 2 bottles of Coke before I started.
Damn.
But yeah, I'm all good now. So basically we're here to talk about TF2 and stuff. And I'd say let's just get right into it. How did you first come across Team Fortress 2?
Honestly, the first time I came across TF2 was, you know the dumb Gmod videos you see on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
That was my first experience in getting to know the characters in TF2. Like, I don't know why Gmod specifically made me get into TF2, but I thought for some reason stuff you could do in those videos was the stuff you could do in the actual game.
But it turns out we couldn't really do that, but what we got in the game was still good enough.
Yeah, I was completely fooled because I had no idea what a first-person shooter was back then. But to be honest, I was gladly surprised. You know, I'm still playing after 8-9 years now, so it was definitely a good surprise.
Yeah. Who was the first kind of TF2 guy you remember watching from those Gary Mods videos?
Oh, Gary. There was a guy called AR Master, I think. He made a video called Scout is Delicious. I think that's what it's called. It's just like a random two-second video, but that's the one that sticks out in my head after all these years.
I'm sure Kitty0706 would be on there as well. God rest
Oh,
him.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kitty07 was definitely one of the big ones.
That's how I first got into TF2 through Team Fabulous 2.
Oh, nice. Team Fabulous 2 is definitely one of his best works.
Yeah, which was kind of I think it was like his last TF2 work other than the SFM kind of trailer thing he did that never really went anywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was pretty much a good ending the way he sent it off that way.
Yeah, honestly, the whole video is just pretty. I mean, it's just perfect, honestly.
Yeah. Was there any YouTuber like TF2 YouTubers that helped you get into it as well, other than the Gary's Mod guys?
Yeah, it's probably going to be pretty obvious, but Germa and Star were definitely the big ones.
Okay.
Specifically Star, because he was the one I definitely remembered getting into the game more. Like, he's teaching me all well, he didn't teach. He showed off like all these cool stuff you could do in the game. So it made me think, yeah, I want to get more into TF2, like actually play the game. Because for the first about 2 or 3 years, all I did was mess around on trade servers and just do nothing to do with the actual game.
To be fair, there's still a lot of people that actually do that.
Yeah, it's surprising how many people just go on trade servers and not actually know what the actual game of Team Fortress 2 is about.
Yeah, it's like people in the trading community. I know some people in the trading community have never played like a single minute of the actual game.
It's crazy, honestly, considering how old it is and how much information is out there, and everything in the game is there, like to tell you, hey, this is what you can do with this game, and there's all that stuff. And yet, people still haven't played an actual game of TF2.
Yeah. What was your first game of TF2 like? Do you remember anything about it?
Very laggy. I'm pretty sure it was, what map was it? I'm pretty sure I can remember it being Dust Bowl, but it was super laggy. I couldn't get. No. Actually, it wasn't Dust Bowl. It was Mountain Lab. That's it. But
You're the exact same as me. We both started out on Mountain Lab.
Oh, it was incredibly laggy though, because I had this was 2009. I had like a really old shitty laptop from like 2007 probably, and it just it just wouldn't run properly. So I think that's honestly why I stuck to trade servers for the first couple years because of the lag.
Yeah, I can see why. Because I had a few issues with mine sometimes, but mine wasn't as bad because the laptop I was using at the time I'd bought just a few months beforehand.
Ah, right.
But,
I mean,
but if I tried it on the laptop that I had previously before that, I would have shot myself.
yeah. I mean, I recently, well, not recently, about a couple months in, I found out about the settings where I could turn them down a bit. So then I started to figure out, oh, look, I can actually play the game properly.
But unfortunately, the game had to look like a toaster.
Oh, absolutely. It looked terrible. Like,
I wonder what low quality Pyro Land looks like.
I have no idea. Unfortunately, I got a better computer by the time Pyroland came out, so I honestly couldn't tell you, unfortunately.
That should be a video that we should do together later on, like low quality Pyro Land.
Oh, that would be great.
That would look like the gaping maw from hell. Like even the hell maps in TF2 will not come as close to this fucking monstrosity.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure it'll look absolutely stunning. By stunning, I mean terrible.
Bad means good in this case.
Yeah.
What else was I gonna say? The next thing is also what was the first class you really like gravitated towards? Was it Pyro initially, or was it any of the other classes?
You know what? Honestly, Pyro's only been my main class for about 2 or 3 years now. The first class was probably engineer, because you know how easy engineer is really to get into. You just build up sentries and just whack the buildings and everything. So it was really easy to get into engineer. So that was probably my first true main, if I would actually call it a main. He just was my most played class at the time.
That's quite interesting. I think engineer and soldier are some of the best gateways to get into TF2.
Absolutely, yeah. I know after engineer, I sort of dabbled around with spy, weirdly enough, considering I'm a pyro main now. But yeah, engineer and spy was the two classes that I sort of gravitated around because, you know, everyone loves to go spy because of how cool he is and how unique he is compared to everyone else in the game. So yeah, my first two were honestly just those, yeah, because of how cool they were, you know, built engineer with his buildings. Because of me being quite new to FPSs at the time, the whole mechanics of going invisible and building sentries and dispensers was all new to me.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea what any of this was, and Team Fortress 2 opened up that to me. So
it makes it more unique. It makes it more unique in the case of when you're first trying to learn how to play a first-person shooting. You're difficult at aiming. Why should I aim so much when I've got the sentry gun to do that for me?
Oh, absolutely. And one stab kills, obviously, insta kills with spy. I should say with a knife.
Yeah. But normally I'd say spy is one of the more trickier ones to kind of get the hang of, I guess.
Oh, definitely. Like, I thought it was pretty easy at first because all you had to do was go invisible, go behind someone and stab them. But obviously there's so much more to do with spy now. Even after 8 years, you keep finding new stuff out about it.
Yeah, I still think the number one thing we should give as like advice to new spies is map knowledge. Learn the map first.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because sometimes one thing that I've noticed is that if you go into practice mode and then you choose to and you go in a practice match and you vote to go to another map, you'll be in that map completely empty.
Yeah.
So you could just go and explore that map for a little while and like kind of learn how that works out for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with you. You've definitely got to know your map because if you don't know where you're going and you're like running away from a soldier or something and you run into a wall, then you're pretty much screwed.
Yeah, or you don't know, am I going the right way or is this going to lead straight into an enemy?
Yeah, most new players have no idea where they're going in maps in general, but Spy definitely needs to know.
Yeah, that's why I'd say, like, for most players, start off with something like Soldier, Scout, or even Engineer at first, and then kind of work your way up.
Yeah, they're very basic, but you learn them quite easily, honestly. They're very good learner classes.
Yeah, so what was it that kind of made you switch over to the Pyro?
Honestly, I have no idea why. It probably sounds really weird, but I've been using the FemPyro mod since 2013, actually, for some reason. But since about 2016, I remembered the mod existed, and when I was getting back into TF2 after the Meet Your Match update, I just started to play Pyro more, honestly. I don't know why I specifically started to play Pyro, but I just played more Pyro.
That's fair enough. But what is it about the FemPyro model that you chose over the original Pyro model, I guess?
Uh, I probably, I'd probably say originality. Like, I definitely, if you look around YouTube with other pyro mains, as little as there is, there's everyone uses the male pyro obviously because it's the standard pyro. So obviously originality, I guess, but also I just really like the FemPyro model. Like that just sounds so. I don't know how to make that not sound weird, but it's just what I like model.
To be fair, this channel is a walking board of weirdness. Just go with it.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's just because I really like the model. That's my real purpose of using it.
Especially that video with the keyhole sweater.
Oh yeah, that's definitely one of my most popular ones for some reason.
I might need to find that mod purely for research purposes.
Oh, absolutely. It's a shame that it's broken though on actual Valve servers and everything. That's the one problem. It breaks as soon as you go into an actual server.
Oh dear, Jesus Christ.
So it's a good mod, but unfortunately, you just have to keep it to yourself for alone times.
Just like, what are you doing in that server? Nothing.
I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, I feel like there should be an option maybe, like, for pyros, like, you can switch between the male and female, like, Valve should do a thing where you can switch between male and female, whichever one you want to use.
It'd be cool for every class, honestly, but I'd be absolutely happy if it did it for Pyro. I can see why, obviously, they wouldn't do it for Pyro, though, because the mystery of what actually is the Pyro, no one knows if it's even a human, so...
I think it's a boiler suit full of feral raccoons.
That would explain a lot.
There's the idea that he's created Pyroland in his head as a way to justify the way he's a killing machine.
All right, I've never heard that one actually.
Yeah, like this is his way of rationalizing why he kills people.
All right, that's interesting actually.
Maybe he's just been inhaling too many of the gases.
Oh, absolutely, I wouldn't be surprised.
So yeah, when it comes to the FemPyro model as well, there's normally a lot of controversy that surrounds it too.
No, I definitely know. Trust me.
You did make that standing up for them video, but we'll touch on that in a few minutes. But
Okay.
what I wanted to bring up was like just talking about like the weird controversies. Like people just go, "Oh, unrealistic body proportions." We're living in like a fucking video game. Why should we care about realistic body proportions?
Oh, I honestly don't get those arguments. I mean, you're playing a game called Team Fortress 2 where the most unrealistic stuff happens anyway, and it's just ridiculous, honestly. I don't get that argument.
Yeah, that I'm kind of like that too when it comes to that sort of thing.
It's not real. There's a difference between reality and games, and obviously, if you know where to draw the line, then it's fine.
Yeah.
I just don't get why people complain about stuff in video games.
I still think the main thing when people complain about realism and it's not a product of its time, at what point during the 60s did we have teleporters, and when did air armies build their bases right next to each other?
That's what I've been arguing about as well in terms of like realism in TF2. Like, why complain about realism in a game but like Team Fortress 2?
Yeah, it's a game that doesn't even take itself seriously.
Exactly. It's just the realism argument just does not work for Team Fortress 2, like in any way, shape, or form.
Definitely. So we'll move on to it now. You decided to make that standing up for FemPyro video. So what was your thought process when you first decided to come up with that video?
Well, obviously the controversy, should I say, started it mainly. Gave me the idea of making the video, and then ideas came up like why obviously the realism argument as well. It's just I just wanted to make it because I've seen so much stuff about it being brought down because of it being unrealistic. And the other FemPyro one not being taken down, like in terms of, it not being as bad.
It's purely because it's ridiculously skinny.
Yeah, but I mean that's the appeal, honestly. I mean, let's be real. But
That kind of takes away the entire selling point.
Yeah, exactly. It's I don't know. It's just there was so much stuff I've seen, and some definitely weird stuff I've seen on like DeviantArt and Tumblr. It's
Oh
just I
god,
wanted.
Tumblr, Jesus Christ.
No, whatever you do, whoever's listening, do not search FemPyro on Tumblr.
Trust me, knowing my fan base, they'll probably do that. Like, they're doing
No.
it right now, and they're probably looking at it and going, geez, you dirty fuckers.
But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to make it more normal, you know. That's essentially what my argument was. I wanted it to be seen more normally. Of course, like it's never going to be seen as normal because of it being so skin tight and over. It's just, you know, the tits and ass and everything.
Yeah,
It's,
ass,
let's be
titties.
real. Yes, but yeah, honestly, I just wanted to make it seem more normal. Like it's just like, oh, it's just another cool mod you can use or whatever. Such like the Corvallis FemPyro.
Yeah. I like the Corvallis, and I like the normal FemPyro as well. I
Oh,
don't mind
absolutely.
which one.
I like both of them as well, but obviously you know which one I prefer.
Yeah, we prefer more meat on our bones.
Oh yes, definitely.
That's one way of looking at it. What was the kind of the response you got from that video when you made it?
Honestly, it's just if I remember correctly, I'm gonna quickly try and get it out, but from what I remember, it's just the same arguments I heard before, as in like it's just unrealistic. I just don't like it. And honestly, I understand that people just say I don't like the mod because fair enough, everyone has different tastes, but when you get the same responses as like it's unrealistic, you know, and such, it's like it doesn't seem like people actually watched the video and heard the arguments
Yeah.
correctly.
You'll get that a lot with certain people. They never actually watch the video, and they'll just go straight to the comment section to complain and go, have you actually watched the content at all?
Definitely, it's pretty infuriating sometimes, but that's what you have to expect on YouTube.
Yeah, people like to like rush straight in without even informing themselves of what's happening.
Yeah,
Also,
especially when it's
I do remember one thing. Sorry to cut you off there, but
it's all right.
the one thing that I wanted to explain was I remember one of the comments I saw in there was the FPS on your video.
Oh, the first one, yeah. Oh, I hate OBS so much. People, I mean, I'm sure it's a good recording system. Don't get me wrong, but I did everything I could to get that to work, and the footage was so shit, and I didn't have time to get any more good footage at the time. So I was like, oh fuck, I've got to use this.
It kind of did look like you just threw a couple of marshmallows in a blender.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it looked terrible. That's why I did a remake, just so that people would stop complaining about the actual FPS and listen to the arguments for once.
Like I've had issues with OBS myself. I'm using it right now because for podcasts it's fine because I can just have a black screen and then just extract the audio later.
Oh yeah, for audio, I'm sure it's fine. But if I used it for audio myself as well, but it just couldn't record TF2 to save its life. So I don't know what went wrong, but I'm just sticking to Camtasia's screen recorder for me.
Yeah.
And if need be, either Fraps or XSplit.
Yeah. What's Camtasia like actually?
It's interesting, honestly. It's definitely, in my opinion, a good alternative to Sony Vegas if you're getting into video creating.
Mainly because it's free to start off with.
Yeah, and it's the main thing that drew me to it was the screen recorder, which is a great help. I use that mainly for recording my videos.
All right, I see. So, when abouts was it that you found Camtasia? Was it like 2017?
Yeah, about 2017. Because actually, no. When I think about it, before I actually did Team Fortress videos, I did your basic gameplay stuff, which didn't really get me anywhere. I just wanted to find a good recorder, but obviously I couldn't find any. So it was about 2015 I found out about Camtasia, and ever since then I've been using it. And when I found out it could be used to record Team Fortress, it was like even better for me.
Yeah, because that's the main selling point to the channel, which is a lot better and all that.
Yeah, once I moved to Team Fortress content, I started to find making videos was much more enjoyable.
Okay, yeah. So another thing we could talk about is the Jungle Inferno update that dropped last year, and also the Blue Moon update this year. Talk about what do you think the state of Pyro was just before the update dropped? Like, what was it like?
I'd probably say it was definitely in need of a fix. It was definitely a lot of things unfair and broken about the pyro, such as I definitely feel the air blast was a major component in being unfair, considering it just absolutely it made it unfair for people who got blasted into the air. The reserve shooter definitely was a big part in making that unfair as well, considering it gave you mini crits. But the flamethrowers were also broken from other videos that I saw about it as well. So
Yeah.
from the looks of it, from before Jungle Inferno, the Pyro was definitely in need of a fix. He wasn't super broken in terms of power and such, but he needed to be fixed definitely.
Yeah. One thing that still annoys me is that Backburner can still do mini crits from the front.
Yeah, that was yeah. It's still dumb.
Why is that a thing on a weapon that can already do crits from the back?
I don't know. Like the back burner already is pretty powerful on unsuspected enemies, so it's
Yeah.
pretty ridiculous.
I know that like flame particles were a bit weird as well. Like that
Yeah.
flamethrower could shoot miles ahead.
Yeah, it was so weird. Just the flamethrower particles are definitely broken.
So then the Jungle Inferno update dropped, and what's your thoughts on how it changed the pyro?
It was really weird to get into straight away. The flame particles are different for sure. Like getting people to get on fire was sort of slightly different from what I remember. It also killed them a lot quicker as well,
Yeah,
which
because
was
there was that
surprising to see.
issue, wasn't there, with like flame particles? Some reason, like the new flame particles were kind of going ahead of their hitboxes, which made trying to retreat a lot more difficult.
Yeah, it still slightly does that from when I'm messing around with new loadouts and such in training. But yeah, the flamethrowers, in my opinion, we're getting in the right direction in Jungle Inferno. It's just you remember the sweeping problem, don't you? Where you could just like sweep your mouse around the screen and make it do more
Yeah,
damage that
the
way.
whole squid, the whole I used to call it the mouse seizure.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that actually was a thing, but yeah,
It
that was
seemed to
definitely
work
a
a lot
problem once it
better.
came out. Yeah, that was a problem considering that I always thought like you needed to aim the flamethrower. Of course, flamethrowers really don't take much skill in terms of hitting enemies, but you should definitely take it should take some skill to aim it at an enemy, that for sure.
Yeah, despite them
Uh,
changing it so WM1 is now a lot more effective, for some reason I've seen a more increase in people using flare guns.
yeah, I think it may be because people missed a combo pyro. I definitely missed a combo pyro a lot because I used to my as much as I hate to say it, I used to absolutely love using the reserve shooter on pyro.
Here comes the
Like
controversy, people.
I don't. Let's be fair. It was super powerful, so of course I was going to use the most powerful thing in my arsenal. But yeah, I don't know when it was, but I suddenly got turned off by the reserve shooter because of it being pretty overpowered.
Yeah,
But yeah, the whole point was like combo pyro was gone, and I feel like people just wanted to have some sort of combo system still going.
yeah. I can understand that as well. But some combo you could do is like flames and then you do that and like you could combo it maybe with the sharpened volcano fragment. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've definitely not used the sharpened volcano fragment a lot because of it being
Yeah,
possibly one of the worst weapons in the game.
it's
But
one of the worst weapons in the game, but in my opinion, it's one of the best looking weapons.
oh, absolutely, it amazes me how good it looks, and then when you actually use it, it's absolute crap.
Yeah, I like the mole reskin for the home wrecker, but I never see anyone using it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I absolutely like the reskin much more than the home wrecker because the home wrecker honestly is pretty bland. It's just
It's just a standard
giant
sledgehammer.
sledgehammer.
Yeah,
But the mall looks really futuristic and it just looks much better.
yeah. It took me a few looks when I first started getting into TF2, looking at the power jack, to realize it's just a giant battery pack on like a car jack.
Yeah, I remember seeing it at first. I just thought it was a giant hammer, but then like when you find out it's a battery, it's like that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I feel like one cool effect that could do is like with the battery, you could have like a surge sort of thing. So it does like it can like if you get yourself wet, like if you like jump into like the water in 2 fort, it could give like an electrical charge to the battery.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how that would work, honestly.
Yeah, and someone came up with a good idea as well. Something that could combo with the neon annihilator. Something like a fire hose that will wet the opponent, so you can switch to your neon annihilator.
Yeah, see, I feel like the Neon Annihilator needs something done with it in terms of another weapon
Yeah, it's
to
very
make it much more
gimmicky.
viable. It is absolutely gimmicky. From what I've seen in the past, there's only about, out of the official maps, about 4 or 5 maps that actually have water in it.
The second stage of Thunder Mountain, two forts. What are the other two? Hydro's got some,
Yeah,
but nobody goes to Hydro, so
no. It's just definitely needs something done with it because its only real purpose is to hit wet players, and when the majority of maps don't even have water, it's pretty useless.
yeah, that's something I can agree with. But can you combine it with stuff like the Mad Milk and the Girati?
Oh, absolutely, you can do that. It's just you're never going to find a scout or sniper that's going to be willing to work with a pyro just for the neon annihilator.
Well, to be fair, there used to be scouts and pyros that used to work together with the Sun on a Stick combo.
Oh yeah, I actually remember being on a remake of the original Two Fort from Team Fortress Classic, and people were using that combo all the time.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting seeing like different classes working together because normally you just think, oh, it's the medic pairing with everybody else, but it's also good to see pyro pairing with other people.
Yeah, honestly, it's honestly cool to see like classes comboing up that you would never is really see usually.
Yeah, ones that you'd never really expect.
Yeah, especially Scout and Pyro, because you'd never think those two would work together.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
especially considering Scout normally thinks pyro's a freak.
yeah, it just sucks that their combo is on two dead weapons, basically. Well,
Yeah,
one dead weapon and a meme weapon.
I guess one that could work together is like one that I've wanted to try out. This is something we could probably try in a video at some point.
Yeah,
Because you know how the Mad Milk helps recover health.
yeah.
Mad Milk and the Back Scratcher.
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Back Scratcher is normally is a one that use when you don't really need a medic.
It's definitely one for more roaming pyros for sure, because you take less damage. You get more less health, I should say. Sorry, from healing sources such as dispensers and medic, but you take more health from med packs, and it does more damage.
My question is, does it like taking less from healing sources? Does that also take into account the Mad Milk?
I honestly have no idea. We'd have to see if that
That's
actually
something we
works.
could that's something we could both look into at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I do think like with the Back Scratcher, I think it's one of those weapons that I think it's fine as it is. We should never actually touch that weapon. Just leave it as is because I think it's great as it is.
It is honestly pretty balanced in my opinion as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, is there any kind of like flame? What kind is your personal favorite flamethrower?
The degreaser for sure. It's just the faster switch speed definitely is the main selling point for me, honestly.
Yeah. My favorite is actually a reskin of the stock Nostromo Napalmer.
Oh yeah, that's a great reskin, honestly. I've been looking for a professional kill streak version of that for ages, but I can never find one. I think it's because there's
There is a
no.
kill streak version of that.
Yeah, I know there's a normal kill streak and a specialized kill streak. I've seen that on the marketplace, but I've never seen a professional kill streak one.
I've never seen any strange ones for sale either.
Oh no, it's either unique or genuine from what I've seen.
Oh, so you can't really get any strange variants.
No, unfortunately not.
Valve should get on that.
Definitely. I when you see weapons that you want strange versions for, they never usually are there, so it just sucks most of the time.
Yeah. Also, one thing that was changed that I'm sure you'd be rejoicing: the extinguisher.
Oh, definitely. The extinguisher getting changed was probably my favorite part of the Blue Moon update. It's so much more viable now. I love using it even more. Not to say the extinguisher, I didn't love using it before, but now that it's been fixed to make it even better, it's just great.
Yeah. Was it that weapon that got the SketchX bequest thing?
Yeah, when you kill an enemy that's on fire with it, you get a small speed boost for a while. Sort of when it's like the big earner, sorry, with Spy when you backstab someone with it.
Yeah. Do you know what that makes me think of?
What's that?
I think it's great that I think this is actually the first time that in a weapon, Valve has acknowledged an actual TF2 YouTuber.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I think that's right because I don't remember them ever putting the name on another weapon like that. But the extinguisher has SketchEck on, which if people know Pyro, they definitely know SketchEck.
Yeah, I've never really watched any SketchEck videos, but I've gone to look at his channel myself, so it looks interesting in there. I know he has this whole montage where he does like pyro sharking.
His montages are ridiculous. Like, no wonder people call him the best Pyro Main because the stuff he does in those videos is ridiculous.
My main question on SketchEck would be, what would he be like with the pyro changes today? Would he be better or would he be worse?
I've actually been thinking about that myself somewhat recently. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure the detonator's been slightly di- uh, changed from when he used it back in 2015. I'm not sure if it actually was changed, but from what I've seen in his video and what it is now, it looks like it's been changed a bit. So he might like it, just depending, because the extinguisher is definitely much more useful. So he'll love that for sure if he did come back. But for the detonator jumps, I'm not sure. I'm sure he'd have to get used to it again and find different combos because I'm sure if he did come back, he'd find a ridiculous amount that no one would ever think of.
Yeah, because like he seemed definitely when it comes to like montage and the stuff that he did with pyro, he seemed like he was very ahead of his time.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I have no idea how he managed to think of that stuff back in 2015, like, let alone at all, honestly.
Like let's think. Imagine if SketchEck first debuted like around about this year. Imagine what he would have done to the pyro meta.
Oh, definitely. He would have definitely changed it. I know I'd have to change my stuff up for sure.
Yeah, because I know that when it comes to like pyro mains, the people that everybody look up to is SketchEck.
Yeah, recently more as well. Timo was the big one for a while until
Timo the
he
scientist.
yeah, he was definitely the big one for a while until he started to upload less regularly. My friend Minty Coffee is definitely one of the bigger ones for sure recently.
Yep. I'm gonna put a little plug for him in the description. So for you guys, if you want more pyro mains to look up, Minty Coffee, look him up.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, Minty Coffee he explains his points really well.
Yeah. Any other pyro mains out there that people could like aspire to as well?
Me. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
I already mentioned you anyway, but
Yeah, no, from what I remember, none that I can really think of right now, unfortunately. I'm sure there's definitely
normally like pyro main YouTubers are a bit scarce these days because most of them
Yeah.
are either like soldiers, heavies, scouts.
Yeah, usually find mains with like the more common classes, like you just said, soldier and such. Stuff like heavy medics and pyros aren't that common because no one really plays
Yeah.
them
The only real medic
effective.
main that we have is basically just Array 7.
Yeah, we did have Xenomite at one point, but obviously, happened with
Yeah,
him.
he decided to leave, but that's his
Yeah.
call.
Yeah, that's up to him for definite.
Yeah, I will be honest. I do remember at one point I didn't like his persona at first, but then he kind of warmed to me eventually.
I don't know why, like, personas like that just acting like an asshole. Like, I enjoy those for some reason. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think it's when he started to tone it down a bit more over the year.
Yeah.
Because he was still playing the asshole, but but at this point you could tell it was just like for show, and he's not genuinely trying to like wind people up.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta wonder whether they actually are genuinely being a dick or not. But so I think I knew from the get go that it wasn't really supposed to be. Sorry, it wasn't actually seriously like him being an asshole. But
Yeah.
obviously, people that would definitely turn people off from his content.
Yeah. Going back to like the Jungle Inferno update, was there anything in there that you wish got changed that wasn't changed at all, or any changes that you were unhappy with?
I was unhappy that they didn't change any of the Pyro's arsenal for definite. Like, I was disappointed to see that they didn't change the extinguisher back in Jungle Inferno. But obviously, I'm not too disappointed anymore considering what they did just recently.
Yeah.
But the main thing that I definitely was disappointed in was they just changed the flamethrower entirely. That was the only change, really. that they did with Pyro, as well as the new weapons, of course. But I was slightly disappointed that they didn't try anything with his other weapons.
Oh god, how bad was the fucking Dragon's Fury at first?
Oh god, I remember it being pretty damn bad. Like it was pretty easy just to demolish a whole team if you had good aim.
Yeah, I think it's basically a flamethrower shotgun with no reload.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was pretty bad. If you knew what you was doing with it, it could destroy an entire team.
Yeah, I enjoy using it, but I kind of feel a bit dirty using it afterwards.
Yeah, with the change though, I've seen people saying it's useless, which I don't understand. All it did was change the hitboxes to make it more fair.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same weapon.
Basically, those who are saying it's useless are just people that need to aim a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say that my aim's pretty good. Let's be real, I'm a Pyro Main. My aim's shit.
You've seen my aim, Jesus.
Yeah, but yeah, it just takes a lot a better aim now. Instead of shooting them from the side, you've actually got to hit them to do damage.
Yeah, so that's kind of like a unique way of looking at it. Also, wasn't there like something else that got changed? Oh yeah, how the flamethrower works in Blue Moon.
Yeah, they've done a ramp up now, so that it does slightly less damage to begin with, and then over time it does more and more damage, sort of like the rev up for Heavy's minigun.
And like some of like Demo's stickies beforehand, before it was changed entirely, because you need to ramp them up as well to get like the max damage out of them.
Yeah, I actually forgot about Demo Man change. Actually, the only one I ever remember is the Heavy one.
Yeah, does Heavy still have the ramp up, or did they get rid of that?
I think he still has the ramp up. I don't play enough Heavy to know, but from what I've seen, because I read like all the patch notes and everything, but yeah, I think Heavy still has the rev up.
Yeah. Also, on a side note, away from Pyro, talking about Heavy, the Jotaro set.
Oh yeah. To be fair, I'm not a huge fan of JoJo. In fact, I've never seen it, but I'm glad that got added for those fans in there. Everyone just lost their shit when it got added.
And then it got taken out for a while, I think, because they needed to fix the badges on the hat, so they didn't get sued.
I heard about copyright problems, so they had to change it, and so they took out the badges temporarily.
I'd say the badges they got now are a lot better.
I haven't seen them yet, so I'll have to check that out.
All I'm gonna say is the famous JoJo scenes. But other things we could talk about as well. Didn't Pyro get any some new cosmetics in the Blue Moon update?
He got a detective hat and trench coat in it, which I actually adore those two together. It's a great set.
Yeah, as a scout main myself, I like the whole the snowboarder stuff.
Yeah,
because I've also got the snowboard backpack, so I can actually have like a snowboarder scout now.
Oh, that's good. I love it when you can get new cosmetics to just make good combos.
Yeah. Another thing when it comes to cosmetics, have you ever tried cosmetic cosplaying?
No, I've never actually heard of that, to be honest.
That's an actual thing that people have been doing for quite some time. One of my favourite ones is the Soldier M Bison.
Oh, right.
Because I know it uses, I think, something like the Team Captain, I think Killer's Kit, and the Batman cape.
Oh, right. That sounds interesting, actually.
Yeah.
To be fair, I do like it when people try and make different stuff in Team Fortress 2 with cosmetics.
The one that makes me laugh. The Spy Shadman. That is a thing. Look it up after we're done here. Look up Shadman Spy.
Yeah, that interests me. I need to look at that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But I like the idea of like unique ways of coming up with like different outfits and things like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't really say that about my main because let's be real, the Last Breath and Trickster's turnout gear are probably two of the most used stuff for Pyro.
Yeah, I don't really use them myself. I just kind of keep with the stuff the stuff that I have, which is like the deity dress, the legendary lid, and my strange Phobos filter.
The only reason I actually used the Last Breath and turnout gear is because those were the only two things at the time when I started to become a Pyro main that actually looked good with the Respectless rubber glove.
Yeah.
So I would have definitely used something else, but at the time I hardly had anything for Pyro, and these were the only two things that looked good, basically.
Also, one thing we need to touch on when it comes to Jungle Inferno: the pimp slap hand.
Oh, the hot hand. That was fun to use, honestly, for a while, but I got pretty bored of it quickly.
Keep your pimp hand strong, guys. Okay, so another thing that I want to touch on as well is speaking of like FemPyros, Sally, the mascot for basically your channel. Talk about how she kind of came about, I guess.
Uh, how did she come about? Honestly, I just felt like making a pyro shark one day because I wanted to use the neon annihilator more. But yeah, I decided to get the shark hat because obviously that's the greatest thing you could use for a pyro shark. And again, I had the ghost mask, the apparitions aspect, and then to begin with, I had the Cremator's Conscience, which is those two devil and angel pyros on your chest.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just essentially from there, I just made her. And then I think it was about January time, December, January. I posted her in my Discord and such, and everyone just went crazy over her for some reason.
Yeah, and now she's got her own boyfriend as well.
Definitely, yeah.
Shout out to Agent Lights.
My boy Agent.
He's the one who keeps trying to get all these Sunny D memes off the ground.
Yeah, I've seen him definitely trying to get Sunny D to be a thing. It's
Yeah,
pretty.
I think he's waiting for me to acknowledge it on the channel.
He wants you to notice him.
Yeah. He had a laugh like one time when I'm doing my outro and I'm doing the thumbs up and he screen caps his thumbs up and it just comes up at the bottom of the screen. Agent Lights is playing TF2, so it looks like I'm thumbing up the fact that he's there.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, Agent's a really cool dude.
Yeah, Agent's honestly definitely one of the cool people in the server. He's definitely one of my favorite people. As much as I don't like to favoritism, he's definitely one of my favorite people.
Also, when it comes to guys that you work closely with, what do you think to like Vlasov? How did you first like kind of come across him?
He added me on Steam once, and we just started to get talking and such. And he made me a couple of pictures out of the blue, which I absolutely love when people make me stuff because no matter what it looks like, I'm always grateful for that. But yeah, he made me some stuff and we just started talking. That's really how we got to know each other. I think we was playing a game on a Jungle Inferno map and we just destroyed the other team quite badly.
And his famous quote, "You're so hot when you're covered in piss."
I'm so mad that footage from mine got corrupted. I really wanted to make that a video.
Yeah, I think I accidentally left that out of my one, but I think my favourite thing we did when we collabed was the bit when I played Spy and I started messing with you guys by going around different corners and backstabbing you.
Yeah, I honestly had no idea where you were.
I spent a lot of that time just trying to think, right, I can't exactly wipe out both of them at the same time, but what I can do is try and fuck with both of them.
Well, you definitely did that well because I had no idea what going on where you were.
Yeah, because I came from one corner, but then you checked that other corner, and I got Vlad from the other corner. That was one of my favorite things that we did.
Yeah, I definitely remember checking one corner, and then I just hear him scream, and his corpse just falls off the tower.
Yeah. Also, this is going to be an inside joke between you and me and everybody on your Discord.
Yeah.
Who would win in a wet t-shirt match? Josie or Sally?
Oh fuck! Why would you make me choose this? Honestly, I'd like to see it. I honestly can't choose. Probably I'd have to go Sally because she's mine, but
Fair enough.
It would probably be close if I would be honest.
Yeah, for those who have no idea what this whole Josie joke is because we have this lewd room in the Discord, and we needed a mascot, so I just chose Emperor Penguin from Kimono Friends, and we just called her Josie for some reason.
I need to check that anime out still, to be honest.
It's really weird.
Is it weird? I like weird stuff, honestly.
Like,
so that's good.
It's on a level of it's bad, it's good.
Okay.
Like it's developed a cult following because at first it was really, really, really shit. But that's how most things start out.
Yeah, I mean, look at Pop Team Epic. I'm sorry if you like Pop Team Epic, but it's not my thing really.
Yeah, I'm not really into that myself. But all right. So I'm going to look at some of the questions that were sent in for this. So thank you everybody on BonOakley's Discord for
Oh yeah, thanks everyone.
putting questions. The first question I've got here is from Sash Lilac. Would you dare to try and play TF2 drunk while playing as the demo man?
Oh, is it because I said I don't like playing demo? Probably. I don't drink too much, honestly. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. It's just I don't drink enough alcohol at all to really go drunk. But I mean, maybe in the future, if I decide to just go fuck it and drink as much alcohol as I can, then sure.
We should just do a video where we just stay at one of each other's houses, just get drunk and try to survive playing TF2. Next one is from Shay. What are your thoughts on just how TF2 became and developed from its beginning to now?
It's definitely been an interesting development. Like, so much has just changed in terms of mechanics and how classes play and what they can use and such. Like, before Spy in 2007 had no chance of beating a Pyro, whereas now they could just demolish a Pyro even if the Pyro almost killed them. It's definitely, I think it's been a good change overall. It's definitely helped the game, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so next question is from Irishman. Commission's open, by the way. Go check him out. If you had to choose, what is the worst paint in your opinion, apart from lime, pink, and Australian gold, as those are the low-hanging fruit?
Oh, I actually like Australian gold, to be honest. I'm not sure.
I didn't know people disliked Australian gold.
Neither did I. Like, I honestly think Australian gold is one of the better ones, to be fair.
Yeah, I think one of my favorites is the muscle mask brawn one.
Yeah. If I had to choose, it would probably be one of the brown paints, because which one? I'm actually looking at it now because I have no. Actually, no. Salmon is pretty bad, to be fair.
Yeah. Isn't that the drab one?
Yeah, it's sort of like a less bright pink.
Yeah, it kind of looks pretty bad.
It does.
Yeah. The next one is from Sonto, which is, how would you buff the sun on a stick?
How would I buff the sun on a stick? Make it shoot lasers and kill everyone instantly.
I would pay to play a game where that is one of the weapons.
Yeah.
that sounds like some shit out of Saints Row.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I love Saints Row.
Same here. I've got like Saints 3 and 4.
Nice. I've got to get into that again soon.
Yeah. This one's from Space Riveter. If you fuck conjoined twins, is it considered a threesome?
I don't know, probably. I'm gonna go yes with that one.
Yeah.
At least you can say, hey, I had a threesome.
Okay, this is a question from Agent to me. Why is it always sunny in my D? Oh, I've got a solar powered penis. That's all I can say.
It's nice.
I did an entire dialect about how I ejaculate sun rays and stuff. I was mentioning that on the chat this morning. You're gonna go back through it, going, "What the fuck was he talking about?" All right, this is one from Skinny Penis. What a name!
I know, right?
Why is Agent gay?
I don't know. I wouldn't consider him gay, considering he's got that shark booty now.
Like, that's one thing you guys need to set up. Like, we need to hire a girl to do Sally's voice. Sally plays Shark Dating Simulator.
I've actually sort of had an idea for 1,000 subs, because I'm not sure what she's called on my server, but I know her as Maddie, with her real name. I've got her permission to use her voice for Sally and my other FemPyros, so I'm sort of thinking of doing something with that.
Yeah. Just going off the questions for a second, I've just looked at your sub count. You're at 951. How does it feel getting like this far ahead so far early on in your career?
I am honestly surprised at how much it's grown, especially with the controversial mod being used all the time. I've got to definitely thank Minty again for. He's definitely got me at least 100 subscribers from his shout out a while back.
Well, if you're listening, Minty, if you ever meet us in real life, we're gonna buy you a drink.
I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. No, I'm kidding. I don't know where that
we
anger
need
just
to
came
have
from all of a
that bit
sudden.
animated.
I don't know where that anger just came from all of a sudden. I'm sorry, Minty.
We should just have that, just like thanks for all those subs. Now get it. I'm gonna kick the shit out of you.
No, I'm sorry, Minty, if you're hearing.
Okay, another one from Agent. What do you think of the new gameplay changes on the flamethrower? We've already discussed the ramp up stuff.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good actually because it actually requires you to aim rather than flick your mouse everywhere, which I think is definitely good for any gun in any game ever. Because if you're not aiming, then it's pretty unbalanced. But now that you have to actually aim with the flamethrower to do maximum damage, yeah, that's a good change. I don't know. I've seen people just saying like, "Oh, look, you actually have to aim as Pyro now." It's like, yeah, why are you complaining now?
Alright, the next one is from Deus Volt Machina. If you meet a person that looks exactly like your waifu, would you 100% smash?
Absolutely. Now, I mean, why would you even ask that? Why is that a question?
It's brilliant. My girlfriend looks like Josie. I win.
No, that's just lucky.
Thick penguin butt.
Definitely.
Okay. This one's from Vlasov. Brace yourself. What's better, capitalism or communism?
Communism. Like,
I feel like at that point, I think at this point in the video, when you say communism, I'm just gonna play the communist national anthem.
I love how it's got 5 Ushankas as well as reactions.
That's perfect. Like I vote on that as well.
Nice.
The last question that's actually in there is, how do you feel about having to aim now while playing as a pyro?
Well, I touched on it just before. I think it's good that you have to actually aim as a pyro now because rather than flicking around, aim gets you more damage. So yeah, it's good that you have to aim now.
Okay, so that's all them questions. I've still got a few more. So one I want to ask is, can you name some of your more funniest TF2 experiences?
If I can remember, let's see. There was the most recent one was with me and Coops. We was just on a trade server together alone, and we was just messing around as spy, pretending to be spy mains, and it was just I was always like running off the stairs and trying to trick stab her, and it's just this one time I tried to trick stab her and she just backstabbed me and my corpse just went flying everywhere and we just burst out laughing. That's one of the more recent ones. Unfortunately, I can't remember any ones from a long time ago.
There was that one time I shot that arrow straight into Vlad's face and it just got stuck in his mouth.
And unfortunately, I wish I could remember some older funny moments, but yeah, that's definitely one recently that happened.
I do remember one of my favourite experiences is I went to cap a point right at the end of the game because I was back capping all the way through, and we were about to win. I was 1/8 of a second away from winning the game for our team. Sniper with a huntsman arrow shoots me straight up the arse. Like, not even in a cheek, right up the hole.
Damn, that must have hurt.
I just pissed myself laughing.
No, this is why I play TF2.
Yeah. Any other kind of favorite memorable matches at all?
I remember going on a community server once and getting a 47 kill streak as Pyro.
Fucking hell!
I mean, to be fair, it was 2 forts, so it probably wasn't the most skillful players, but I definitely remember doing that. It was pretty amazing, actually. It was, for once, rather than just getting random kills out of nowhere, it was a legitimate 47 kill streak, which I was actually quite pleased about. And then we won the match, of course. So yeah, that was definitely one I can remember.
Yeah. Another memorable match is for me. Actually, I can't remember. Moving on, another one is there anything with Pyro that you want to see introduce new things or something changed, like a new mechanic?
For Pyro, I think they've pretty much done pretty much everything with Pyro. If I had to choose something to be changed, maybe the Phlogistinator, just because it's just I don't like it. It needs something done with it, and I definitely know Sash agrees in the server with me that it needs to be changed. It's just one of those flamethrowers that it's either really shitty or if you just steamroll a team with crits is just really overpowered. It just needs a change like the extinguisher, I think.
I just normally like when it comes to the flog. I say it depends on in whose hands it's being used.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's like you said, it depends. It's either really good or just really bad, and when it's really good, it just decimates an entire team.
And then when it's really bad, you see how bad it really is.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's why I think that needs a change for definite for Pyro. With the new flamethrower particles as well, it seems slightly more powerful now because of how they work. So I think it needs some sort of rework to make it more fair and more unique compared to everyone else. Because its main gimmick is just crits, really.
Yeah. Another thing we could touch on as well, since we spoke about the pyro, let's try and go through some of the other classes and like say one thing like that you'd like to see changed on each class the most. I'd say.
Hmm.
I'd say let's start off with scout.
For Scout, let's see. Probably something to do with with his scatter guns, maybe, or something unique with his melees because we've got jumping, bleeding, or maybe some sort of new throwable or a new drink or something, maybe.
Yeah. One thing I think would I definitely change is probably put the soda popper back how it was.
Yeah, soda popper. I think the soda popper now is actually still pretty good, but the soda popper back then was much better.
Yeah. Or fix the baby faces blast.
Oh, for the love of God, yeah, that used to be my main scattergun back in the day when I main scout for like a few months. But yeah, it's pretty bad now.
Yeah. What about soldier?
Soldier, a new backpack maybe. Make it. I don't know. With Soldier, he's pretty perfect for all skill ranges, honestly.
I still think I want to see more incentive to use the battalion's backup because that's the one banner I don't see anybody use.
Oh yeah, because that's the one specifically for sentry guns, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a defensive thing that cancels out crits.
Yeah, that's one of the least ones. I know I definitely use the Contra personally all
Yeah,
the time.
I use
with a
that
speed
too.
boost.
I usually combine it with a black box purely to wind people up that hate that combo.
I know that people have definitely complained about that. I've definitely heard about it recently.
Do you think they might? Do you think they might change a way to like they might change that combo in the future? Do you think they might take that out?
Possibly. Like I've seen things with certain combos. I don't know whether they do it much more now, but back in the day, they used to come with like if you're using this weapon, it does this to this other weapon, which is what I sort of recommended in one of my videos with the thermal thruster and backburner, since that's such a powerful combo still. So maybe they could do something like if you're using the black box with a Contra, it does a certain debuff or something.
Yeah, or both, or you can have the effects of one or the other, but not both.
Yeah, that'd be a good change actually.
Yeah. We've already touched on pyro, so what about heavy?
Heavy. Make him more fun to play, I guess. I'm sorry if you play heavy.
That's the best. That's the best answer I've ever heard when it comes to heavy.
So, like, I honestly, I do love the heavy. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just boring. I'm sorry.
I'd say one thing
true.
is something that helps encourage unique gameplay, like maybe something that encourages the fat scout kind of style.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just I don't know what, but heavy just needs to be more fun to play. He's too slow.
Yeah.
And I know he's the slowest class, but some sort of slight speed boost or something to help him be more fun.
Slim him down, send him to the gym.
Make him a scout there.
Just give Scout heavy speed.
That'd be great.
That needs to be a mod actually. Team Fortress, but all the character speeds are messed around.
Oh god, I found a mod way back now actually that changes all of the classes into like pyros. So like you got like a really skinny pyro for scout, buff pyro for heavy, and what they've done for pyro is they've changed it into a blue spy with a pyro mask on. I need to make a video on that one day, but it's
that actually sounds fantastic.
It looks fantastic. I need to actually use that someday.
God, imagine a pyro with a back burner with the speed cap of a babyface's blaster.
Oh god,
I'd be scared of that.
Definitely. Even as a pyro myself, I'd be
Yeah.
scared of that.
Um, Next up would be I would say one thing I'd like to see for heavy is this is something that Uncle Dane touched upon, which I'd like to see is like instead of like a sandwich, like like a mini metal pack that he could give to engineers.
Yeah, honestly, some I've seen comments in that I remember a while back saying like it wouldn't work or it's bad, but I agree with you and Dane saying like that would be pretty cool for heavy to do. Then he'd be much more offensive rather than running out of 200 bullets and having to run and find an ammo pack.
Yeah. Next would be engineer. I'd say with engineer again. There's the one thing that I think Uncle Dane touched upon is having like a mini dispenser strapped to his back so he gets like brief metal regen.
Yeah, honestly, Uncle Dane's brought up a lot of good points on new weapons and such. But yeah, for engineer, I'd probably just agree with you. Honestly, I can't really think of much for engineer either.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the regenning metal dispenser would be really good to combine with the Widowmaker. Like that could make like that might have the bad effect. It might create a giant battle NG like kind of mentality.
I mean, we've already got a Dragon Ball Z engineer, so I mean, this wouldn't the
Wait,
game
wait,
much.
Dragon Ball Z engine. Explain this to me because I have not heard
Uh,
this.
have you not heard of the new changes with the shorts?
No, I've not seen the new short circuit. Apparently, I hear it's quite bad.
Well, regardless of it being good or bad, the fact is, if you right click, you do a giant energy ball that just shoots quite far, and everyone's been calling it like sort of like a Dragon Ball Z weapon. So it's just pretty funny going around with engineer and with other engineers, just like looking like you're Kamehameha in people.
Like the way it comes out. What kind of color is the energy ball?
I think it's team color. I think it's blue for a blue team and red for red.
If it's red for red, when he fires it, I'm just gonna have Vegeta screaming "Final Flash."
Nice.
That sounds like the great way to like start a video.
But yeah, it's definitely one of those weapons now that's it's pretty bad. Honestly, now I did like it before, but it's still pretty fun just to mess around with.
Yeah. I'd say don't touch. Like, I'd say give him a new wrench as well.
Now,
Not a
what
new
sort of
wrench.
wrench?
New primary.
Oh right, what sort of thing would it be like?
I don't know. Someone came up with a unique one that you don't get like a sentry, but you get like a sentry turret attached to your arm instead of like a gunslinger.
And that'd be interesting. I'm not actually sure how that would work.
It would be clinically insane.
It definitely would. They'd have to somehow balance it really well, like maybe do much less damage than a mini sentry at a sentry and such.
Yeah. Next one, medic. What do you think medic should get?
Some sort of new medigun. It's see no, actually something to rival the crossbow, honestly, because that is the most overused primary for him.
Yeah,
Like,
The Blood Saga's quite fun, but not great.
it's fun. It's not useful though. We need something to like shake it up because the meta for medic is the crossbow, Ubersaw, and then any medigun. It'd be cool to see some sort of new thing for the mediguns as well.
Yeah,
But
I
the
think
thing is,
one thing I definitely want to see is a something to rival the Ubersaw.
yeah, the thing they tried to do that with the Vitasaur, I think, in Jungle.
Yeah, with the
Well,
harvest collecting. I still don't know how that works.
no, I haven't actually used it to be honest, so I have no idea how it works either.
Yeah, I feel like one like unique idea is like with a medigun is something that could heal targets, multiple targets that are within like a small distance of the medic.
Yeah, something like the amputator, but obviously as a medigun variety, and probably less like slower healing, probably.
Yeah. I did come up with a weapon concept for soldier that was kind of a bit crazy, but I'll touch on that after we've gone through sniper and spy. So
Right.
Next one will be sniper.
Sniper. Let's see.
I'd say
Maybe.
in terms of rifles, he's good.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a good variety of sniper rifles. Some sort of new backpack. I think the only backpack really is the cozy camper, but
Yeah. Then there's the Darwin's Danger Shield that's been reworked to be an
yeah,
anti-pyro weapon.
that's the bane of my existence.
I just switch to power jacks whenever I come across those.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just switched to shotgun or panic attack, which I've been using more recently now. But yeah, maybe some sort of unique backpack or melee. or something that changes it up, because I know huntsman snipers are more offensive now
Yeah.
because it lets for more free roaming and such. So yeah, possibly something to combo with that.
Yeah, one thing I'd definitely like to see is probably a new submachine gun that's not shit.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, the SMG is just, if you're gonna go for a submachine gun, just go for the default.
Yeah, because the cleaner's carbine is awful.
Unfortunately, yeah. Unless you can somehow get enough damage on it and then combo it with a bushwhacker, then it's not that good. Because that combo is quite viable. The problem is you've got to do enough damage with it first in order to get the crits.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people use Jurati and Bushwhacker instead, because then you can just
Yeah,
got
because it's
crits on
instant.
demand.
Yeah, definitely.
I still use the Shahansha. I'd like to see that like be reworked a little bit though.
Honestly, I used a Triwoman Shiv. I don't know why, but I've got a professional kill streak, one of it.
Why not?
Yeah, use whatever, honestly. But yeah, sniper needs it'd be cool. It'd be cool to see the rework of that Shahansha
Yeah. And lastly, there's Spy.
spy. Make the dead ringer not shit.
No,
Probably.
keep it shit. Keep it shit.
Actually, yeah, no. To be fair, the dead ringer was better. Honestly, change the ambassador back. I sort of agree with most spy mains saying it wasn't broken before, considering you had to aim, and to be fair with the ambassador, it is pretty hard to aim already. And now that the drop off air damage with it is added since the jungle inferno, it is like one of the worst ones. I'd probably say it's worse than the enforcer now that they fixed that in the blue moon one.
Yeah, I didn't see the fix to the Enforcer. What did they fix to that?
It turns out, its main mechanic of piercing like resistances and such,
Yeah.
it only did like 3 out of the 10 resistances. So like it basically did its job, but really shittily. So, but with the Blue Moon one, they've actually made it work on everything it says it does now. So basically, just made it do what it actually says in the stats.
Jury's still out on that one. I know one thing I want to discuss as well is like taking breaks and leaving from TF2 as well, because you mentioned like round about Meet Your Match, you said you were just about getting back into TF2. Did you leave because of Meet Your Match, or did you leave just before?
I left just before. I had about a year's break actually. I hadn't played it for over a year at that point when I came back. I don't know why, I just lost interest in it because it just I'd done everything at that point.
Yeah, but when you came back, you had like 2 new updates to like go through, like Gunmetal. Oh, 3 of them: Gunmetal, Tough Break, Meet Your Match.
Yeah, I dabbled in it with Gunmetal and Tough Break. I came back for like maybe a couple, like 1 or 2 months after each update, but then I went again because it didn't hold my interest. I did the contracts and left, really.
Yeah, and then Meet Your Match was the biggest giant clusterfuck that more or less ruined the game.
Oh God, yeah. I don't know why that made me come back because I heard everyone saying like, "Oh, it's shit" and everything. It made honestly most of my friends leave the game, and they haven't really played it since actually. But for some reason, it drew me back to TF2, and I've been enjoying it ever since again.
Was it more a case of just having a look at like just to see how bad it really is?
That may have been my intent, honestly, to go see how. Like, surely they didn't fuck up TF2 that bad, but obviously they did, which I'm glad they fixed in Jungle Inferno and everything.
Yeah, and they've been fixing a bit more now, so you can like swap between games in the middle of a match as well.
Yeah, it's just I didn't I thought at the time they over exaggerated a bit, but looking back, it definitely did pretty much almost kill Team Fortress.
Especially when Overwatch was just about to come out.
Yeah, if you're trying to compete with a game like Overwatch, then you definitely shouldn't like almost kill your game like that.
Yeah, but I feel like slowly but surely everyone's coming back.
Yeah, I think with the slow fixes, unfortunately, because of the small team working on the game now, it comes out much slower. But since of the fixes, they've slowly been making it better, and yeah, it's good that they're making it much more fun for everyone as well. Because I know Coops used to play it before no, not Jungle Inferno, before Meet Your Match, and then she got bored of it, and then recently, about at the end of 2016, she came back, like me.
Yeah. I'd say one last question I'd ask is, what do you see for the future? Like, do you think the future of TF2 is going to be good, and what do you think they need to do in order to like stay relevant for another 10 years?
Let's see. I think the future is pretty good in terms of they need to obviously communicate with the community more because the only sort of communication they did before Jungle Inferno was that one big patch note thing that they were going to work on. For the heavy update and whatever updates they come out with more, they need more communication, as in like we're going to work on such and such, like we're going to nerf this weapon.
They are
More
starting.
constant.
They are starting to do that.
Yeah, they need to do it more regularly though, in my opinion, because as far as I remember, they only did it once before Jungle Inferno. But yeah, they need more communication because even the communities wants to know what they're working on all the time.
I feel like fixing like things like pastime as well because pastime is just
Yeah.
fucked.
Oh yeah, that's another good point as well. They need to update old game modes like Man vs Machine, Pastime, like you said. Like there's plenty of game modes in the game. Maybe even do something like Hydra. Maybe make a new territory control map.
I feel like territory controls would be a lot more difficult to do. I'd say the best thing they could do
Oh,
is
definitely.
probably turn it into a 6 CP map or a 5 CP map.
Yeah, I mean it's no wonder that they never made any more maps for that. But I think I don't know, Hydra being the only one sort of sad. So it would be nice to see a new variety sort of like that. Like you said, the 6 CP.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad as well. Like certain things like 2-foot invasion has been put. Like they put that back in.
Oh,
to
I'm so
map
glad
rotation. And
yeah.
and CTF well, which everybody's been clamoring for to come back.
Yeah, everyone went mad over that. But yeah, maybe you remember those old work in progress maps. I forgot what they were called.
Asteroid and Cactus Canyon.
Yeah, I'd love to see those come back actually, especially Asteroid because that was quite unique.
It was very
But
confusing though.
it was confusing at first. I remember playing it and I had no idea what I was doing, but once you got into it, it wasn't too bad actually. It was very unique compared to everything. It was like sorry, capture the flag, but different.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to explain it, but it was fun.
Contrary to popular belief, I enjoyed Cactus Canyon whenever I played it.
So did I. I don't understand why they removed it. It was.
Do you think they just gave up?
I think they gave up, honestly. Yeah, it's just I don't think at the time they had enough people working on it or cared about it, so they just gave up. Which is a shame because Cactus Canyon, I remember playing that all the time.
Yeah. Okay, so I'd say this is where we wrap up. Is there any guys you want to say like special thanks to at all before we go?
I'd probably say thanks to Minty, obviously. I don't know how many times I'll say that.
Yep,
Minty.
Minty Coffee, you are definitely one of our favourite people. Thank you
Yeah.
for helping Bon out.
Yeah, absolutely. Agent as well for being just a cool person.
Yes, Agent, my Sunny D mastermind.
My sister Coops for being helpful in my early beginnings on TF2 videos for helping out with thumbnails and such.
Yep.
And everyone on the Discord server really for being just nice and friendly and everything.
Yep. That's Oh, were you about to say something there?
Oh no.
Oh, fair enough. So that's it from us. That's been BonOakley, the Lord and Master of the Sally.
Thanks for having me on.
Yep, you're welcome, dude. Anytime. And I am the master of the Josie the Penguin slot, Captain Inn-Zhano Esquire. And that's the end of this episode. We'll see you again soon. Farewell.
See you guys.